while we just get all the streaming business organized. Takes a while for all three streams to come in. We're going to get to the meditation. It's coming. I just have to be able to check that, number one, for Instagram, I'm sitting in the right spot. Let me just check that. Oh yeah, it looks pretty good. And then number two, that I can see comments, etc. on Facebook. Okay, hang on, there we go, there I am. Oops, got to mute the computer. There's a delay as well, so everything like is about 10 seconds behind. Very weird, very surreal. I think we're there now. Yes, beautiful. Great. Now, how are you? How's the day going? Good? I hope it's going good. It's alright if it's not, but I hope it's going well. Time for a bit of meditation. I meditate throughout the day. This is just the one I do on the internet, on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. It's not a class, it's just a chance to meditate together. So if you're used to meditating, brilliant. We're going to get there in a second. I'd just like to explain what I do, though, for the benefit of people who are new to meditation, because for all the information there is out there on meditation, people still kind of quietly sort of say to me, what do you actually do, you know? Like, they're embarrassed that they don't know. Like, it's expected that everybody in the world should just automatically know how to meditate. So there's lots of different styles of meditation. This is just what I do. For me, it starts with why I would meditate. I'm trying to connect with the part of me that I connect to every night when I'm asleep. I just don't go there consciously. It's the bit after dreaming I'm interested in. So I dream and then I drop at the bottom of dreaming into deep dreamless sleep, where I have no thoughts, I've got no memory of being there, I've got no body, no stories, no life, this life. I sort of cease to exist in the way that I normally register my existence, which sounds terrible. I mean, it sounds like death. And yet, I love going to sleep. And when I wake up in the morning, I feel refreshed. So some part of me kind of knows that something good happens there, or that place is good. And that's the place I want to connect to when I meditate. I just want to do it consciously. So if you're new to meditation, a nice quiet room is really helpful, where you're not going to be disturbed. I encourage you to sit up. If you lie down, it's too distracting, because your body will just go, oh, I'm lying down and my eyes are closed, so it must be time for sleep. So you'll either fall asleep, with nothing wrong with falling asleep, but the idea is to go into this place consciously, not unconsciously. And if you don't fall asleep, you'll battle sleep. So, yeah, sit up. You don't sit in the lotus position or anything like that. I'm just sitting in a chair. Feel free to sit in the lotus position if you can do that comfortably. Now, as I said, there's no thinking in that place, so I have to figure something out about my mind, because my mind just can't seem to get there. It can't get to this place, so I have to sort of part the curtains of my mind to get to this place. So I make an arrangement with my mind. This is what I do. I sort of say, hey, can you just not think for the next 15 minutes because I want to do some meditation? And my mind, at this stage, wasn't always the case. There used to be more resistance. But now at this stage, it's like, yeah, grand. I've read about meditation. I've got ideas about meditation. I've got many thoughts about meditation. So yeah, sounds good. Let's do it. So that's good. And then to stop thinking is easy enough. To stop is, anyway. Because thoughts are just made of pictures and sound. So if I turn off the pictures and I turn off the sound, that's it. I'm not thinking. And then once I do that, I'm into the practice of meditation. And the practice of meditation runs in tandem with the intention of meditation. But they don't always get the same amount of coverage, like in books and YouTube videos and whatnot. So the intention of meditation is to go into this beautiful, mysterious, calm, peaceful, Zen-like, possibly eternal place. So you'll hear a lot about that when you're talking about meditation. The practice of meditation goes like this, right? So I turn off the picture and I turn off the sound. So I stop thinking. And then a little bit of time passes and I discover that I'm thinking again. So I'm like, oh, I'm thinking again. So I turn off the pictures and I turn off the sound. I stop thinking again. And then a little bit of time passes and I discover that I'm thinking again. I go, oh, I'm thinking again. So I bring my mind back, turn off the pictures, turn off the sound, I stop thinking again. And that just repeats. I just keep doing that. Every time I discover that I'm thinking, I bring my mind back to not thinking. And depending on the day, I may have to do that many times or less times. But if you have the idea that you should be like, when you meditate, you close your eyes and there's this, there isn't a ripple across the surface of your mind. Just having that expectation is not going to help you with meditation, not in my experience anyway. And that's why when people say things to me like, oh no, I tried meditation. Yeah, no, not for me. No. I was thinking too much. I think I've got a busy mind. No, it's not for me. So that's sad because nobody's mind is any more busy than anybody else's as far as I can see. It's just they didn't understand about the practice of meditation, and they had this idea that they should have this like perfectly flat experience, and missing the kind of power, because the power in meditation, yes, it is when you go into this beautiful place, but there's also a huge amount of power in the fact that you keep bringing your mind back from thinking. So every time you discover you're thinking, and usually what the things we think about are really personal, like what am I going to do about that problem, right? And then you're like, oh, I'm thinking, oh yeah, I'm meditating, so I'm going to turn off the pictures now, turn off the sound. Indirectly, you're saying to yourself, I am not these thoughts, I'm something else. And that's very powerful, because before you realized you were thinking, you did think you were those thoughts. And then when you go, oh yeah, I have to turn off the pictures, turn off the sound, you make that illusion of who you thought you were just disappear in a poof, gone. And you're saying to yourself, no, I'm something else. So that's very powerful. And the fact that you do that repeatedly, that's very powerful. So what else? Yeah, as I'm doing all that, I'm also becoming more conscious of my body, and I'm letting go of tension in my body anywhere I discover it. That has the effect of calming my nervous system down. And it's a bit vague when I close my eyes to not have a system. So I have a system where I scan my body from my head down to my feet and back up again, very slowly, very gently. Anywhere I find tension, I let it go. And I use my out breath to let it go, because number one, it's natural to just let the breath out, and it's also a good way to remember to breathe, because with all the not thinking stuff going on, it's easy to actually hold your breath or stop breathing. So using my out breath to let go of tension is just a good way of gently bringing my awareness back to my breath. And when I'm scanning my body, I'm paying particular attention to any area, any structures in my body that go across or transverse. So why I'm doing that is because transverse structures in my body, mostly my body runs head to toe, longitudinally. Anywhere that goes across, but acts a little bit like a log in a stream. It accumulates the twigs and leaves and whatever's floating down the stream. So in my body, it has a tendency to accumulate tension, these structures. So I'm checking my eyes, my mouth, my jaw, my tongue, the base of my neck, my shoulder girdle, my shoulders, like all my joints. So my shoulders, my elbows, my wrists, and my fingers, they're all going across. My heart area, my respiratory diaphragm, all my intestines, my pelvic floor, my hips, my knees, and my ankles and my toes. So I set a timer for how long I'm going to meditate for, and I do that just to help my mind have one less thing to think about. It's the same as like why you'd be in a quiet room. One of the things that triggers thoughts are little noises outside. So I set a timer so I'm not turning off the thoughts, and then suddenly I'm like, how much time has passed? Because the thing is, my mind is habituated to thinking, so it's just going to think about, you know, even though it's behind the idea of meditation, it just can't help itself. It's habitual. It's in the habit of thinking. And that's even like I've been meditating for years. I meditate throughout the day, as I said. So if you find you're thinking a lot, don't worry, you're doing fine. So I'm going to set my timer for 15 minutes. But if you're new, I'd encourage you to set yours for 5 minutes and just repeat it 3 times. Because even with the timer, 15 minutes can feel like a long time if you're not used to it. And around the 7-minute mark, you will start thinking again about, you know, certainly my experience. You start thinking, you'll be like, did I? That timer, I mustn't have put the timer on. Maybe I should check, did I put the timer on? So yeah, 5 minutes. Repeat it 3 times and then work up to the 15 minutes. Okay, so hi Gloria. Off we go into the mystery. So if you feel like you've gone very deeply into yourself and you feel like you need to, take a bit of time to come back, that's fine, do that. Take your time before you open your eyes. Or if you feel like you can hold the inner space and the outer space at the same time, then just open your eyes. Okay, thanks very much for meditating with me, and see you tomorrow for some more meditation. Alright, bye.